this channel that my brother actually showed me called Ho Math.
Hi.
I watched the first video and it was absolutely enthralling to say the least. The first video I watched was this one down here, the relationship zone charts.
Zones is, of course, my viral iconic relationship map that lays out what men are looking for from women and what women are looking for from men in romantic relationships.
This guy, he's like a savant. It's like he has a degree in relationships and people, men and women, and how they work and how they understand each other. These are all things that I have spent, countless hours over the years thinking about these things and learning about them. I kind of find myself to, like, if I didn't do my current job, I would have done like a relationship counselor. I know it sounds, pretentious. Oh, like he thinks he knows. I feel like I understand people really well. And so this guy, seeing his video completely blew my mind. I never have felt so seen or so heard, especially from the man perspective. So today I'm going to watch this other video that caught my eye from his Home Math, How Attractive, evaluating your own attractiveness and that of others as a social skill. So let us take a look and see what he has to say.
How do I know how attractive I am? It's the #1 question I get since starting the channel.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 rules to find out, but first let me explain.
Really quick, I just feel like, at least for me, I've always gone in points in my life where sometimes I felt like, you know what, I know I'm attractive. I feel so attractive. People tell me I am. And then other times in my life, I will just be like, dude, I am not attractive at all. I'm like a 3. Like, why would anybody... Like, what was I thinking?
This is my How Attractive diagram. It's new. I included a guy and a girl evaluating themselves and each other according to the standard female delusion chart. It's based on examples of relationships and the power dynamics that structure them, so you can get a sense of how people assess their own value and trade it with others. Basically, what is this person giving to their partner or target partner, and what are they getting in return?
Assessing your own value in relationship to others. What are you giving and what are you getting in return? See, that's the thing. This goes way past just looks. Your overall value is where your attractiveness lies.
This is what I think we should all be shooting for, perfect 50-50, and
Right.
also admitting that we are average.
Yeah.
I included the attractiveness bell curve with the not people zone built in. That is why most guys don't get attention. That's why there's a second average here. That's Ryan Gosling.
Everyone
That's the
in range average. Okay, so like 5 and under is not people.
average of the men that
Okay.
count as people. I included the ways that we evaluate each other. There are things that everyone likes or doesn't like. There are things that people usually like and don't like. And then there are personal preferences and then a reminder of how to use them. And finally, a reminder that not everyone has the same opinion. I've gotten this from up here and I have gotten this from down here. I depicted a variety of relationships.
Dude, that's happened to me. There's been times where I've hit on girls that I thought were really attractive. They received it well, and it was a big confidence boost. There's other times where I've hit on girls that I felt like were not as attractive as me, almost to increase my chances of winning their affection, and they shot me down like horrifically. So it just goes to show, like, really everyone has preferences. I have a certain type. I think that, like, maybe like a caramel skin, Hispanic, brunette is like, man, the cream of the crop. But my roommate, my friend, he's Hispanic himself. He loves like white blondes. He like looks at Hispanic women like, ugh. And I'm just like, dude, there'll be girls that I look at and see that I'm like, wow, she is beautiful. And he'll be like, ew, yuck. So yeah, everyone has personal preference.
This is an Elon Musk, Andrew Tate type situation. He has a lot of money and power, and so he doesn't have to put in much effort. Here's an example from an old video I made. She doesn't want none of that unless you're attractive. She says, don't catcall me unless you're a 7, by which she means 9.
That's... That is true. Yeah, she's got the workout, the phone there in her hand, by which she means
This
9.
is a relationship I was in. That is a picture of me when I was good. I spent some time with somebody who I liked, but there was a large attractiveness difference, and so she tolerated a lot from me. Here again is what most people should be shooting for.
Dude, I've literally done that. I think I did it a lot too much in my earlier life, and so in the last couple years, I've abstained more as if I would rather have no relationship than a relationship in which I felt like I was not putting that much effort into it. I knew that I wasn't, but because I felt like I had the power and the scale of attractiveness. Therefore, I knew that she probably felt lucky to be with me, so I don't have to put in as much effort, and she had to put in a lot of effort. And so for me, it's like, it's a win-win. I don't have to do that much. I still get physical intimacy with her. She does nice things for me while she's doing all this, and for her, it's like, oh, I get to be with this really attractive guy. But the one problem, I knew from the start I would not love this person or pursue a serious lifetime long relationship with them, and I knew that's what they wanted. And so it always inevitably would end up with me breaking up with them. They were heartbroken, and I just decided, you know what, I can't do this anymore. If I don't see a serious relationship with a person, I'm not gonna lead them on, entertain them. And so I get exactly where he was coming from.
For on the same level, each putting in half. Here's another example from my TikTok. He was in a relationship with someone who wasn't putting in anything. As you can see, it does not matter how hard he works, she wasn't ever going to change. And finally, at the bottom, I have a reminder that it doesn't always have to be 50-50. As long as everyone is happy with the situation, somebody who is maybe of a little lower value can put in more, and someone else of a little higher value can put in less, and it can work out. You can do something like this if you're okay with it, and if you're not okay with doing something like this, then you have to just not do it anymore. So basically, this would be
exactly. Wow, dude, I told you, this guy, it's like he's an alien that is just like, here's the rules, humans, this is how it works.
What someone perceives about their value, and then how much work they're willing to put in for what they perceive about their partner's value. Sometimes people will say something like, I know a guy who's a 2 who has a girl that's a 9, and that's not true. It's just that she perceives something in him that equalizes the value transfer. So people don't have a value, they have a perceived value, and everyone perceives it differently, and how attractive you are is the average of how you are perceived. It's not all...
How attractive you are is the average of how you are perceived, and everyone has a different perceived value of you. Wow. That's a good point. That's a great way to put it.
I once said that I know where I am with women, but not with each woman. I've gotten, again, a variety of responses. And that can make it hard to tell where you are, and that's why you have to pay attention to feedback. When I started getting in shape, I noticed that more women would smile at me, and they would pretend to be helpless, so I would do things for them, and then they would look at me on the street. And I never made it up here, but some people do. So I think I'm here right now because these things have slowed down for me. So I was here when I was young, and then I put in effort, and everything changed, and then, time. Some women still like me a lot, but they have to get to know me first, which equalizes attraction.
Wait, hang on. Men rating women overall, women rating men. It looks the same.
So that's feedback. For men, anyway. For women, it's different, but you have to pay attention to the feedback you get, and then look at what kind of person you're getting it from.
True. There's times where I've been told, like, from women, like, wow, you're so handsome, you're so attractive, but it's like a 50-year-old short little lady. And it's like, okay, well, thanks, but it's not your opinion that I'm craving.
Know where you are. And yes, nothing is a kind of feedback, so if you're getting nothing, that is an answer. But there are things you can do about that. You can self-improve, and you can get to know people.
I want to see the left-hand chart. Women rating men. I think he's saying as an average, picture women being like, the most women are 5s. There's less 10s and less 1s. And women see it as all men are like 2s. And there's nobody above a 7.
A lot of guys just go after strange women forever, and they're like, why is it not working? It's because you're here when they don't know you, and you're here when they do know you. So once you get your feedback, identify who you're getting it from. When I got these looks on the street, they were from women in this range, which fits this model. And when I asked women for a number, they told me 8. It all kind of fit together. Let's talk about why this is difficult. Talking about attraction is emotional. Some people just don't see the feedback, some people don't want to admit that they're average, and some people are just delusional. You can say you're a 10 until you believe it, but you cannot say you're a 10 until I believe it.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, God.
That fucking 10.
In the early days of my channel, a month ago, I gave a lot of women ratings. They got a lot of views, especially when I was mean. Women volunteered to be complimented and insulted.
It makes you look like a whore.
I got reported for gender-based violence and bullying, even though they volunteered. This guy thought 10 was too high for a literal model. Here's what he looks like. So people see the world a little bit distorted. That's why I made this.
Ryan Gosling being attractive is Hollywood propaganda.
She then says that he's average, by which she means this. I found a bunch of videos like this.
He's average, by what she means he's actually an 8. I think Ryan Gosling's attractive. He's an attractive guy.
Every one decent looking man, there's like 50 hot girls. Like, it's ridiculous.
Are you on Tinder here? It's just...
Yeah, I would not agree with that. When they say 50 hot girls, I mean, you got to consider these are probably women who are like a 4, 5, or 6. They put up all this makeup, put in the push-up bra, butt pads, all this stuff to make them seem like they're a 7 or an 8, but they're not. They're not. But that's the thing is we don't do that. What you see is what you get, So I think that's why a lot of women just think there's like no hot guys.
disgusting.
I try to get around these distortions, but not everyone will. That's why you need this. Some people say attraction is subjective, but there are some things we all like or don't like, and some things we usually like or don't like. So it's only part subjective.
Truths.
And the way people perceive you is not all about looks, it's about many things, which is also sometimes very personal. For example, you would not believe this, but some people do not want an angry mommy girlfriend. That's Alex Pierce. She's known for her angry ranting. Some people love it. She's very polarizing. That would be a personal preference in personality. Also, different people value different things differently. I would rather have a 10 here and a 5 here than the other way around. So, judge by universal and usual preferences and not personal ones. Include everybody in the world in that age group.
I've learned about myself that, obviously, you can't just go off someone's looks because you might see them on the street or in the store and like, wow, they are so attractive. But you don't know anything about them. You might have one conversation with them and immediately become completely unattracted to them just based on their personality. I think ultimately you don't have to find someone that is, a 10 or super hot, but you have to find someone for you that you are physically attracted to and you're attracted to their personality. And they got to be single, which...
And include everything you know about them to get their total value. That's how to judge fairly, but not everyone will do that. So you have to remember how this works and then look for your feedback. It
sounds bad, but judging isn't really a bad thing. It just means that you're taking in everything that a person has to offer, adding it up, and seeing what you believe their value to be.
You guys first. I said I used to get looks from women on the street when I was up here. That's rule number 1 for guys. If you're getting attention from women who don't know you...
10s go across the board. The guy 10, he gets attention from literally everybody. But what's weird is the woman 10 doesn't. She gives her attention. She only gives her attention. I see. The guys give their attention to 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, all the way up. The 10 women only give it to 10 men. 9 women only give it to 10 men. 8 women give it to 10 men, and then also 9s. I see. So the women are always, interesting. See, that's something I didn't really consider, is that women always shoot upwards, whereas men shoot downwards.
You're doing good. That's why very few men get all the attention on dating apps, because very few men look good to women right away. Familiarity evens things out, so if you know her pretty well and it's not working, she probably sees you as down here. And you should either adjust your expectations or work on yourself. And you should work on
adjust your expectations or work on yourself.
I went from here to here and it changed everything. Guys down here tend to think that women are just difficult, but if you make it past this line, you get to be difficult, and I recommend it. This is a real thing someone said to me. I was basically staying at her place, drinking all her wine, hitting on her friends, and she was like, I can't get rid of you. It's a good thing you're so good. I don't actually recommend treating people this way. I'm just saying you can be valued. I will show you how to work on yourself in a video called Self-Maximize coming up. Basically, do this first, find out who likes it, do this next, and try to end up here.
That's a good, your attractiveness based on your masculinity. And improve yourself first, find out who likes you, and then invest in them time, money, emotions. That's honestly,
Okay, now let's do women. Men have to know when they are here, and women have to know when they are here. I just told men that if you're getting attention from women that you don't know, then you're doing pretty well. Some women think this is true about them too. It is not. This girl is bragging that 108 people are interested in her. She probably thinks they all feel this way. They don't. A lot of men, including me, will give attention to women who we judge as being anywhere from here to here. If I think you're a 4, I probably wouldn't put you higher than here, but I might put you here. You have to know who feels this way about you and who doesn't, and this is how you know. You can't listen to what they say, they'll say anything. You cannot pick who you like and make him keep you. We do not work that way. You have to find out who wants to keep you and pick your favorite one. If you...
Wow. Okay, so he just said a lot, but so we're talking about women cannot find who you like and make them pick you. Yeah. I think that's a really hard lesson for a lot of women to learn. And I guess from what he's saying that women, when they see you and they're attracted to you, if they look at a guy and they think, wow, I am interested in him, I'm attracted to him, they put him in the keeper's box. They're like, wow, I would like to marry him. He's going to be my husband. Whereas us men, we look at, I'll look at, anyone that's like a 4 that I'm into, or an 8 or whatever. I would think, wow, like, I'm into them physically. I'd like to be physical with them, but I don't think of, oh, she would be my wife. She'd be a great partner. And so I think they, like he was saying, that girl, she thinks that all those 108 men want to marry her, but they don't. They just want to sleep with her.
Start with this, then you're not filtering out the guys who will make you end up here. Your level is the best guy who will commit, not the best one in your inbox. A lot of women hate...
Oh my God, her face. She's just like, what can I say? There's 108 people in my inbox. I can't help it. But like he said, your level is the best one that'll actually want to marry you.
That advice, they say, I'm not going to settle for less. And that's okay as long as you realize that if you're aiming too high, you might end up alone or with a guy who's got 5 other girls. All I'm saying is you don't want to be her.
Yeah, because if you're the 5, if you're a woman and you're only going for 8, 9s, and 10s, let's say you get lucky and you find an 8. He's like, okay, I'll date you or whatever. He's also getting a lot of attention from other women, so you have to just understand that and be okay with that.
And you cannot be her just by saying you are. Other people have
just
to
by
agree.
Saying that you
That's
are.
why we used to have marriage. It was proof of commitment and not just saying it. So you can tell who likes you by how much he's investing in you. That's time, money, energy, commitment. How much does he want to have a public relationship? How much does he want to show you off? How fast does he give up other women for you if he's not giving?
That's true. If there's any women that watch this, if you're seeing a guy and you're wondering how much he likes you, there's a lot of information that can be learned by just seeing how much he wants to show you to his friends and his family, mostly his friends. If you're seeing his family, he's probably pretty into you. But if you notice that he's not really, bringing you around his friends, not really going out with you in public that much, it's probably a good sign that he kind of just has you in the sleeper category. But like he said, there's even in the sleeper category, there's public and not public. And that's a pretty big dividing line.
You those things he probably won't. So for men, you're looking at what kind of woman is giving you signs of attraction. Being nice is never going to change that. And for women, you're looking at what kind of man is giving you signs of commitment. And more attraction to him is never going to change that. I think we all know these things on some level, but we just don't want to be honest with ourselves. We don't want to admit where we are. But if you do, that's...
With him talking about increasing your attractiveness by working on yourself, that's very true. I've definitely noticed that. There's been times in my life where I've been out of shape and just not taking care of myself. And there's nobody hitting up my phone. I couldn't find a woman to save my life. But there's other times in my life where I remember when I first joined the military and, joined the military doing 100 push-ups, sit-ups. I was jacked, right? And I tried to stay in pretty good shape since then. But at the time, man, going to my first duty station, it was so weird how many women hitting on me, coming after me. So, he's true. It's right. It does. If you work on yourself, you will start to get attention. And then as you're walking down the street or wherever, a public place, and you start to notice women that are looking at you. You know, the women that when you see out of your corner of your eye, you look over and they're like looking at you and then they're like, oh my gosh, sorry. The more of those you get, how attractive is the woman that's looking at you? Because that's probably, you take the average of that, that's probably how attractive you are. And then do it too. You do it to women that you find attractive. If you're somewhere that's public and you see a woman that you think is attractive, I mean, don't be creepy. Don't like stare at them. What I like to do is if I see a woman that's attractive, you know, I look over, I see her as I'm walking by, I'll keep my eyes on her because you can feel when someone's looking at you. And then I'll wait for her to feel that. She'll turn, the instinct is to just look away. She looks at you and just be like, oh, I hope she didn't see me looking. When she sees you, keep eye contact and then just smile. Smile and then move on. Or, you know, if you want to circle back, maybe get her number, whatever. Don't be afraid to just keep eye contact. Again, don't be creepy. Don't be staring at her and then look away and then stare back like, no. Just let them know. I think you can let a person know that you're interested the way that you look at people.
Most of us should be looking for.
Right. That's like marriages.
So here's those 2 rules I promised you. Number 1, you know how much someone likes you from the energy you get minus the energy you give. Don't expect that to change. And number 2, you know how attractive you are by looking at what kind of person gives you about the same as what they take. So don't give people energy that they don't give back, and then pick from whoever is left. If you enjoyed this video, there's about 1 million ways to support me on my Linktree, and I'm gonna start.
He's right. I mean, I've seen men and women do this. I have a friend who he put in so much into a relationship that he wanted to work, and it was so clear to everyone else that the woman he was pursuing was just not interested. She was putting in 0 effort. And the second a better guy came along, she left him and went for that guy. And it was heartbroken. I mean, and you know, women do it too. Like, it just sucks. Don't put in so much effort to someone that is not giving you anything back. I've done it. There was a hard lesson to learn where I was with this girl that I was lusting over so hard because I thought she was so attractive. And I was putting in, I was driving to her house, giving her flowers, bringing her presents, taking her food. And she was putting in not only 0 effort, but when we would make plans, she would bail on those plans. She would bail last second so much that I started making backup plans because I knew she was going to bail on our plans. So I had to make a backup plan so I wasn't just sitting at home my night being sad. If you don't feel like you're experienced in dating, get out there and date. It doesn't hurt to just go on dates with people, get to know them, get to see what you like, what you don't like, the lessons you got to learn. I mean, all of it just comes with experience. And then I think eventually when you're emotionally mature enough to know what you like, then you can make an educated guess onto someone who you're like, okay, I'm a 5, she's a 5. We see each other equally as far as how attracted we are. And if you like your personalities, oh man. My problem is now I just can't find anybody that's single. All right, well, thank you guys. Watch more of that guy's stuff. I'll put his link in the description. Home math, props, shouts out to him.
Play pundit. I can draw the cat.